So, ladies and gentlemen, we like to start all of our BDM travel as well as our $1 billion mission zooms off with either, in this case, with BDM travel, some travel excursions to get you to dream again, and then some transformational nuggets. So, hopefully, you're getting your body moving here, putting a big old smile on your face, ready to hear some phenomenal content. I'm going to give it over to John Austin, the lead developer of BDM Travel and our $1 billion mission, for him to give us some additional transformational nuggets, and then we'll share about, excuse me, about BDM travel. It's yours, John.
Well, thank you, Professor. And I always love listening to Tony Robbins. What a great individual. And he's helped so many people, myself included. But today I want to remind you of something powerful. You are more resilient than you know. Life throws curveballs, plans fall apart, doors close. But let me tell you, resilience is the muscle that grows stronger every time you stand back up, every time life knocks you down. Resilience is what turns setbacks into setups. It's what makes the difference between a dreamer and a doer. And that's what brought you here today. You didn't come here by accident. You came here because there's something inside you that refuses to quit, a part of you that knows there's more freedom, more abundance, more purpose, and you're ready to claim it. The BDM Travel Club isn't just about travel, it's about transformation. It's about unlocking a lifestyle that gives you both time and freedom and helping others do the same. So life has tested you. If you've been through some storms, if you've had to start over more than you can account, more times than you can account, congratulations, you're exactly who we're looking for. Because people with resilience don't just survive, they rise. Let today be your turning point. Let this be the day you say yes to new beginnings and open the door to a future you can finally design on your terms. Welcome to BDM Travel Club, where we don't just travel the world, we change lives. Get ready to travel. Let's go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So let's talk about BDM travel, your gateway to wealth and adventure. I'm still pumped up with the with the Tony Robbins, get my body to move there. All right, so friends, the travel industry. If you ask people, hey, if you made more money, what would you do more of? Most people in their top one, two, or three are likely going to say travel. We know this industry is a huge industry, $1 trillion plus industry, probably even bigger than that now. And so we're going to talk about travel, and we're going to talk about savings in many cases in your local area. So we're going to share a game changing business model. We're backed by a travel partner that has 25 years in the travel and the savings arena. Um, whether we're talking about vacations, hotels, flights, you could get up to 70% off of hotel stays. Over there to your right, you've got over 1 million hotels there that are available all across the globe. What about cruises? Ready for that next cruise? The other day, I was in the cruise section and I saw where a person could get a cruise and then could get the second ticket. I say, significant others going with them for like 50% off. Local discounts, local discounts, depending on the part of the world that you're in. Just this section alone, local discounts could save you far, far, far more than what the annual outlay is for BDM travel. Movie theaters, take that vacation. I'll show you the power of that in just a few moments. Car rentals, discount directories. That's one of my favorite parts inside of BDM travel when we go to the travel partner site, because this is where you're going to save a lot of money on things like restaurants, local restaurants, and you'll be able to support local businesses. A lot of those savings won't just be your big box restaurants. It'll be that little out of the way that you had never even heard of. And then when you ate the food, you're like, oh my gosh, why have I never even heard of this place? I need to come here more often. Apartments and villas and theme parks. and the like. So let me give you, show you a few different ways that you can save. I remember way back in 2002, I got into the travel arena in the marketing, work from home space for the first time. And, they told us to tell folks, hey, when it comes to airfare, you're not going to really save any money there. Well, you're not going to save a king's ransom, but Mama said a penny saved. There we go. Is a penny earned, and so you can save through BDM travel on flights, whether it's to the left there, $5 off economy, $10 off premium economy, $25 off of first class. Well, if you chose to fly first class, and let's say if it was you and maybe again a significant other, well, you just save $50 there. Now, if you're traveling globally, you might even receive higher savings there. There, for instance, if you were in the U.S. and you were traveling to Europe, $25 off for economy, $35 off for premium economy, $50 off for first class. Again, if it was you and a significant other, saving $50 a piece, you've almost covered your annual outlay for BDM travel. Let's talk about hotels. There were a couple spots where you could save us up to 70% on hotels. Another spot that had 1 million hotels that are available. You would simply go to one of those engines, type in where you want to go, and your check in and check out date. Now, I was very interested to see, well, how does BDM Travel's back-end engine compare to sites that we're all familiar with, like Hotels.com? Hotels.com is owned by Expedia. Expedia also owns Hotwire, Orbitz. All right. So how does it compare to some of the big websites out there? Well, here's how it compares. So I was looking. I love Orlando, Florida. I lived there for a few years. When my sons were in their teenage years, we just had an absolute blast there. And so Orlando, though I no longer live there, has a very special place in my heart. So I was thinking, okay, well, what if I just flew in and just wanted to hang out for a day or two or three? What would that look like? So I put in March 21 through the 22nd. That was a Friday night, staying over to Saturday. Now, if I was only going to stay for a day or two, I probably wouldn't be looking for a villa, or probably wouldn't be looking for a condo. I'd be looking for a hotel stay. And when I do hotel stays, I'm uh, my preference is something like Embassy Suites. I like the extra room. I like the free breakfast, all that good stuff. Okay, so Embassy Suites by Hilton Orlando, Lake Buena Vista South at hotels.com for check-in on Friday, March the 21st, check out on Saturday, March the 22nd was $192. You see that on the right-hand side, and $218 when you consider taxes and the fees. Okay. Now let's go to our site. All right. Travel partner. Same date. We're still talking about that Orlando Kissimmee area. Kissimmee is actually where the property is located, just minutes away from all the major parks. Friday, March the 21st through Saturday, March the 22nd. Notice Embassy Suites by Hilton Orlando, Lake Buena Vista South. There you see the address there even. Well, what was the outlay? $119 when you factor in taxes and fees, $137. So if we went to hotels.com, we're talking $218 for one night. If we went to BDM Travel, our travel partner, we're talking $137. But that's over $80 in savings per night. So if I extended my stay to 2 nights, that would more than cover my annual outlay for BDM travel. So here's one of the things you want to look at, especially if you also are considering looking at BDM travel from an income opportunity perspective. Here is the litmus test. Does the product, does the service stand on its own 2 feet? In other words, if we stripped the product or service from any association with a compensation model, would people want the product or service just because the product or service offers them value. And in this case, I could save, if I had gone just for 2 nights, I would have more than saved enough to cover the outlay for my annual outlay for BDM travel. Well, what if I'm not going on excursions right now? What if I just want to save money in my local area? So there was a section, movie section. All right. You'll also find savings on the directory section. So that was a section that said like a million different discounts. I actually went in and there for this. So I saw a movie section in there, and I said, "Oh well, let me check this out." I live about 10 minutes from a movie theater called the Regal Theaters. Okay, and at the time that I pulled this up, I was actually surprised to see that Mufasa, the Lion King, was still in the movies. But I love that franchise. I didn't go see it, but I'll probably stream it or what have you. But in any event, when I looked at it, I was looking at a non-matinee time, 6:20 p.m. You can see that right here. Okay, and the adult pricing for one ticket is $15.49. So hopefully you can see that. Okay. Well, so here's the question. Can I get that ticket for less? And the answer to that is yes, and quite a bit less. So inside of our travel partner for BDM Travel, we could go in, we click on movies under one of the discount sections, and I put in Regal because I knew that I have Regal theaters not too far from me. Well, I can get a ticket for $9.75, and that includes the little fee that they have here. Well, wait a minute. For 9.75, oh, by the way, notice it's not a ticket to The Lion King. So if I got there and I wanted to watch something else, maybe something else caught my fancy, all right, I can use that 9.75. I'm paying for the ticket, all right, not so much for just that movie. All right. So then I started thinking, well, shoot, I have found love again, and I love being able to take my lady out. I like to call her Dr. Baby. Well, Dr. Baby and I could go for just about the same price as I could go for myself because of the savings there. So two tickets at 9.75 would be 19.50, not too far off just my own ticket. Now, what if I'm a movie buff and I like to go to the movies some people go to the movies every week, or every couple weeks, or a couple times a month, or what have you. All right. But I'm going into my back office to see, what the savings are. And again, in this example, I think the savings was like $6 or $7 for the ticket. All right. And if I'm Dr. Baby and I are going out on a date, what would we say? What 13, 14, $15? I can also look under the movie sections and see if I can save money on the concessions. So if we are movie goers once a month, twice a month, or what have you, if you extrapolate that out over a year's time, that alone could potentially, maybe all my disclaimers, allow you to save more than enough money to cover your annual outlay. Let's go back to Orlando for a moment, okay? So if I was going to go to Orlando, the one thing I don't want to do is cook. Okay, I don't want to cook at home, much less if I was on a business trip or if I was doing some vacationing or what have you. So I went in and I was just curious to see some of the restaurant deals that were available. Now you'll have some discounts on some of the big box stores that or big box restaurants that may be available in a lot of our local areas. But certainly when I am traveling, I don't want to go to the same places I could go locally. I can go there locally. I want to find something new. And what struck me was Olay's Kitchen and Barbecue, Caribbean barbecue. I lived for a few years in the Caribbean and the Dominican Republic, so that resonated with me. Now, for my vegetarians and my vegans, don't beat me up, okay? All right. I'm going to show you a carnivorous plate. Okay. So there's some ribs, and hey, for my vegans, there's my greens. I do okay with the greens. All right. There's macaroni and cheese and some baked beans and what have you. Okay. All right. That might work. I then went to the actual menu, and I was thinking, okay, well, if Dr. Baby and I, took, she's got two daughters under her roof. I've got one daughter under my roof. We're looking to slowly blend our families ultimately later this year. The other day, guess what, guys? Let me tell you what, we went ring shopping over the weekend. So at least I know what she likes. Okay. So in any event, I know Dr. Baby loves herself some fish, catfish, whiting. Knowing her, she would probably want the combination platter so she could get the catfish and the whiting, and that goes for 28 bucks. Okay. Knowing me, I would likely want to get the barbecue ribs. All right. And that's 22 bucks. So we're already at about 50 bucks. And we haven't factored in, whatever the drinks are, or a tip, or if we wanted some extra stuff, maybe they have dessert. Who knows? Okay. So I know I'm going to be at 50 bucks. So I was going through to see what restaurant discounts there were for Olays. And so for Olays, I saw this right here. Let me blow it up a little bit bigger for you. All right. It says I can get a $50 off deal for 20 bucks. Almost like a Groupon of sorts. All right. $50 off for 20 bucks. So I could pay for the 20 bucks. All right. Present that. All right. With the the barcode on my phone or what have you. And then they would take $50 off the meal. So net I would save 30 bucks. Well, I wasn't in Orlando. My son came to visit me a couple weekends back. He and his significant other. And by the way, guess what my son did the other day? He called me the other day, and in our conversation, he said, "Pop," he's 29, he'll be 30 this year. He calls me Pop. He said, "Pop, she's the one. That's my wife." So a couple weekends back, he brought her. I met her for the first time. And so they came, they stayed over. And the first night, we decided we just wanted to get to know each other a little bit better. And we stayed in and we ordered some pizza. All right. So there was the Hawaiian pizza there, and there was the deluxe pizza there, and then we got a Philly steak pizza, and then we got wings. But before I ordered, guess what I did? I went into my back office. I looked to see what was available, and I saw this a pizza place called Marco's. Don't know if there's a Marco's in your area. I've seen it. I don't know that I've ever eaten from Marco's. Okay. Well, guess what they had? They had a $50 off coupon. I paid $20 for it. I got $50 off the meal. And so here is the actual receipt that I clipped with my phone. The subtotal was $100.95. We got three extra large pizzas. We got plenty of wings. All right. And the discount was $50. I paid $20 for the $50 discount. Net, that saved me 30 bucks. Okay. All right. So it's not just travel. Now let's go back to travel for just a moment. There was a section that says take a vacation. And when I went back here, I was pleasantly surprised because it looks like you can actually give away travel vouchers to others, maybe for a wedding gift, or maybe for an anniversary gift, or maybe for whatever. Okay. Some people might even use this part of the site as an incentive base. In other words, hey, if you come to a BDM Travel Zoom and just listen, whether you do anything or not, just by you being there, I'm going to get you a travel voucher. Now, these vouchers, the person going on the trip does not have to sit through any type of timeshare presentation or anything like that. And you can use the voucher yourself. So I chose to put my information in to see what it all looked like. Okay. So essentially, what happens is you simply pay for the taxes and the fees. That is how you activate the voucher. And then you have 18 full months from the time you activate the voucher to actually take the vacation. All right, so you get to choose from Bangkok. I don't know how you say that second one: Cancun, Dubai, Las Vegas, Bali, several places in Mexico. So I did the Vegas one. Haven't been to Vegas in a little while, and I wanted to see what it looked like. Well, look at this: 4 days, 3 nights, hotel stay. Instead of paying $970, that's what it's valued at. Okay, and it would be a hotel that is highly rated on TripAdvisor, no timeshare. I would simply pay 3 nights worth of taxes and fees, $100, $99.72, little less than $34 a night. So, what if I decided to fly out to Vegas? I go to BDM Travel, our travel partner. I save on my domestic economy or economy plus or first class ticket. I could save there. I pay little or nothing for a 4 day, 3 night stay. So maybe if I was just going to do a weekend getaway, a long weekend, hey, let's go and do it. All right. $100. And then that would give me plenty to do other things, like go to, certain shows. And I'm sure that I could then go in the back office and see if I could get some discounts on some of the shows that I might want to go to. Okay. All right. And then there's so many other things. So there were a couple little tabs, one that says 2 million discounts, another one that said 1 million discounts. Well, what that gets you is access to so many other areas: automotive, business and office, car rental, condos, resorts, cruises, tours, dining, food, entertainment, golf, health and beauty, so on and so forth. So, for example, so then I put in my actual uh, uh, um, location. Okay. I wasn't doing in Vegas. I wasn't doing in Orlando. I would expect that they'd have a lot of these in those areas. I live in a little small town, um, just a few, maybe 20, 30,000 folks or so. So everything I really need is within a very short driving distance, not much traffic, nice and quiet, just like I like. Yet, if I ever and I'm going to need, it's time for oil change soon. I could go to Jiffy Lube, 2.2 miles from me, and save 15% on my next oil change. If I needed tires, I could go to Just Tires, 1.6 miles from me, save 15% would be my average savings. If I needed something more, heaven forbid, I pray I won't need another transmission. I actually had a transmission taken care of about a year ago. Thank goodness that was still under warranty. But if heaven forbid something like that happened, we know transmissions can be thousands of dollars. All right. Well, saving 10% on something that could be thousands of dollars, nice savings, very nice savings. And that's just under the automotive part. What if you are into health and beauty or home and garden or movies? I think this is where I got the savings for the movies that I showed you a little bit before. Recreation, maybe it's golf for you. All right, dining. That's where under dining and food you're going to find a lot of your coupons for a lot of your big box type of restaurants. Okay. All right. So once again, vacations, hotels, flights, hotels, cruises, local discounts, movie theaters, take that vacation, car rentals, discount directory. How does it work? Well, folks, you're going to get back to the person who invited you to tonight's sharing, and you're going to ask them for their link. They're going to get you their link. Your outlay is just $149 for the year. That's it. So once again, think of all the local savings. I'm not even talking about the great excursions and the trip around the world and the Alaskan cruises and the Caribbean cruises and the Mediterranean. I'm not even talking about those things. The African safari. I love apex predators. I want to see that lion. And I've got vegetarians over here. Forgot about that. Okay. So in any event, I'm not even talking about all the phenomenal excursions. Just in your local area, depending on what part of the world you're in, there's a good chance you will save maybe multiple times what your outlay is. So now the question begs this: is there an income model associated? Because if the product or service stands all on its own merit, it doesn't need a comp plan to come to life. But there is a comp plan to this phenomenal product or service, we might just have something, and we do. So I want to show you a video. John sent this to me, and I saw it for the first time right before we got on the Zoom. And I said, you know what? I don't need to say much of anything. I'm just going to click play. All right, so you can watch the video. And then afterwards, we will just come back and put a little extra meat on the bone. So give me just a moment. Enjoy this brand spanking new video.
Hey there, let's talk about compensation plans. I know. It sounds complicated, right? But what if I told you that understanding the BDM Travel Club compensation plan could transform your financial future forever? Stick with me. It's simpler than you think. Imagine planting seeds in a field.
Wait a minute, I need to make sure. Are you folks hearing that?
Yes.
You did hear it. Okay. I didn't hear it on my other computer, so I thought it wasn't playing. All right, so I'm going to back that up. We're going to do that all over again. All right, here we go.
Hey there, let's talk about compensation plans. I know. It sounds complicated, right? But what if I told you that understanding the BDM Travel Club compensation plan could transform your financial future forever? Stick with me. It's simpler than you think. Imagine planting seeds in a field. You have to sow before you can reap. That's the law of the harvest, and that's exactly how our plan works. When you refer people to BDM Travel Club, you get to keep your first and third referrals. But your second and fourth referrals, they get passed up. Why, you ask? Because in return, you receive the second and fourth referrals from all of your direct referrals, going down to infinity, kind of like planting seeds that produce many times the number you sowed. And you will appreciate how that adds up when you see the comparison against other traditional compensation models. Now let's talk about the matrix, unilevel, and binary. Most people don't realize how slow it is to make money and how much they're losing out with these plans. Let me break it down for you. A compensation plan is simply a way of dividing a sum of money among a number of recipients. When comparing two plans, the sum being paid has to remain equal. So here are the ground rules for our comparisons. 1. Our BDM Travel Club pays out $80 per sale, so that is the amount we will use in our comparisons. 2. Our travel club pays to infinity, but we will cap our comparison at 12 levels while comparing it to a 12-level matrix. 3. BDM Travel Club pays the entire $80 to one person. A matrix divides the same $80 between people on each of the 12 levels. So, let's take a standard 2x12 matrix that pays out percentages on different levels. Run the numbers, and it would look something like this. Total payout for a fully filled 2x12 matrix equals $28,800. Conversely, each 2x12 Travel Club matrix is filled with the second and fourth referrals coming from your personal referrals, and for each completed 2x12 matrix, you would earn $655,200. But it gets even better because each of your referrals is going to give you a 2x matrix coming from the second and fourth referral they pass up. And it doesn't even stop there, because each second and fourth referral passed up to you will also start a 2x matrix that can potentially pay you as much as your first matrix. Remember the law of the harvest? The two people I passed up are like seeds planted in a field, which allows me to receive a 2-by matrix from every other person I refer and all of their second and fourth referrals to infinity. By now, I hope you are beginning to see that the law of the harvest applies as much to compensation plans as it does seeds sown by farmers. The unilevel, just a stretched out matrix with the same problems. A binary compensation plan is a little harder to compare, but a few things to consider are: 1. You are forced to build 2 legs. 2. You have to sponsor a certain number of people in each leg. 3. It is impossible to balance 2 legs, and you only get paid on the lesser leg. No balancing act with BDM Travel Club. Although we make no guarantees, you could potentially refer just one person and end up earning $655,200 through 12 levels. And when you keep referring, you will earn even faster. The definition of tripping over dollars to pick up pennies is working any compensation model other than our BDM compensation plan. With our plan, there are no caps, no limits, and no balancing acts, just an ever-growing, ever-expanding stream of people who are helping each other earn. It's designed to reward those who take action. Join BDM Travel Club today and start being paid what you are worth.
I love that video, buddy. I love that video. We're just going to spend just a few moments putting a little meat on the bones there. Bear with me. All right, so folks, one of the things that you can do, and I strongly recommend that you take a little time and do so. Once you are part of BDM Travel, come into the BDM Travel Club, okay? And you want to come down here to where it says Income Calculator. And with this income calculator, you can start to see just the hugeness, the bigness of the opportunity that is before you. Remember, people have the opportunity to save money in their local areas, depending on what part of the world they're in. Many folks, even if they haven't done any travel, will save potentially multiple times their annual outlay. There's no monthly subscription, their annual outlay. Okay. And then if they do choose to go on vacations, and that may be what allows them to go on vacations, the fact that they save so much money. Okay. And then if they do choose to go on vacations, they're going to save there as well. So keep that in mind. So now we have this amazing product that is value, and particularly with what a lot of people are concerned about with inflation and what's happening here and what's happening there. Saving money, I think, is going to be even more paramount for the average person. So that's there. Number 2, we've got this income model that's there where you can generate sizable income, and the income calculator will help you understand. So here, if I simply referred 4 people, that's it. Let's say I referred 4 people that got BDM Travel, and let's assume that these 4 people also want to build a business, and they ultimately referred 4 people. All right. Keep in mind, I'm going to have a second and fourth that's going to travel up, but I'm going to receive second and fourths and second and fourths. So what this is assuming is that second and fourths come up to you. All right. And we're only going down 12 levels deep here. The reality is there could be folks that go down 14 levels, 140 levels, 1,400 levels. There is no cap to the depth payout. So there's no cap to the number of people we can personally enroll, and there's no cap to the depth that we could get paid on with those second and fourths and second and fourths. All right. So all this is me referring for, those folks referring for, so on and so forth through 12 levels. Okay. Now, this is a nice size number given the fact that the outlay was only $149 annually. That's it. Now, I want you to also hear something I said. The outlay is only $149 annually. We want to make sure that from a culture's perspective, that people are using BDM travel. You're going to the movies, go in that back office. Go see what your savings are. You're going to go get your car maintained. All right. You got some repairs. Go and see if you can get some savings. You're going out to a restaurant. You're going to go play some golf. Go. You're going to go book a vacation. You want a condo. You want a villa. You want just a few days away at the nearest beach or mountain lodge or what have you. Go and check it out. Okay. Now, why is that important? Because if people are saving money, guess what they're going to do on that annual renewal date? They're going to be more likely to renew again. So now all of a sudden, imagine if this was coming in, or at least a portion thereof, every year. Now you can go up here and you can play around with it even more. You could say, okay, well, let's just say that everybody refers for. I'm not going to say anybody's a grand poobah recruiter or anything like that, but I'm willing to do more. Maybe I refer 5 instead of 4. Now look at that figure there, 982,000. Now, is it going to work perfectly like that? Likely not. All right. But the potential of 982,000, what if I got a quarter of that, 25% of that? I'm at almost $250,000 a year. Matter of fact, what if I said, you know what? I know I can find 10 people that want to save money. Give me a moment. 10 folks that want to save money, 10 folks that want to make money. All right. Everybody else doing the 4. Well, shoot, now we're at 2.6 million. And you may be saying, well, that's a perfect world scenario, and the world's not perfect. Well, you start working on some transformation, okay? So we can begin to manifest those things that we want. But you're right, it's not perfect. All right. But this potential, if I got 10% of it, I'm still at $250,000. And what did I do? I referred 10 folks. And they referred 4, referred 4, so on and so forth. Now, this calculator only takes us up to 20 because the numbers get so big. The numbers get really big, okay? So we've got a product or service that has immense value, particularly when there's potential discussions that there could be recessions. People are going to be looking for ways to save money. They still want the lifestyle. They still want to go out to eat. They still want to go to the movies. They still want to do those things. We can help them do those things and save money by doing it. And just maybe that helps to alleviate some people's pain. And then certainly if they're able to generate additional revenue and perhaps large sums, that could certainly help to alleviate some of the things that people are dealing with, at least from a financial perspective. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give this back to John. John, I don't know if you were going to stay on for a little bit longer. And if so, I will give you the host controls here. You want to get back to our guests, to whoever invited you to tonight's Zoom. Ask them for their referral link, their BDM travel referral link. Go on and join with them. Go on and make your purchase of $149. You can do it with a credit card or debit card. You can do it with cryptocurrency. With that said, I love each and every one of you. I'm giving it back to John. John, it's yours, my friend.
Okay, thank you, Professor. Before we end, I just want to leave you with a couple things. Number one, what you've seen doesn't have to be a perfect world, because it literally pays to infinity. And the way this business tends to work is oftentimes the most fire doesn't happen right at your first, second, third levels. It starts burning down deep, and then it burns up. So again, folks, an opportunity like this probably comes once in a lifetime, but you've seen the vision, you've seen the savings, the potential earnings, but here's the truth. Nothing changes until you decide to move. The BDM Travel Club isn't just a business, it's a doorway. It's a life of freedom, purpose, and connection. And it's waiting for people just like you, people who are tired of limitations, who are ready to grow, give, and live. So let's go explore the world. Go reclaim your time, go rewrite your financial future, and most importantly, go help someone else do the same. Because whenever you rise, you light the path for others. And that's what this community is all about. So whether you're ready to travel more, earn more, or simply be part of something bigger than yourself, know this. The journey starts now, the door is open, and your seat is waiting for you. Let's build something beautiful together. Thank you for joining us and welcome to our BDM Travel Club. Let's make history. God bless, and we'll see you on our next go around.